I just released a deluxe album, so if you're gay, autistic, trans, or just really emo, then you should check it out. I've got a music video, I've got some merch, and I have a Patreon too. And I have a Discord too if you want to make friends, because I know you have none. Hello, underachievers! That's so weird that I'm standing up. As you can see today, I'm standing up because we got serious business to attend to. As the peak of masculinity and manliness and the king of transgenders, I thought I would take it upon myself to give you a big, comprehensive list of every single thing that changed in my body, in my mind, in my life, not in my life, since I started testosterone, because I've been on that since 2018. It's been 6 years, so I feel like I've gone through most of the changes. I know we're not seeing a beard, so maybe if you were looking for beard tips, beard facts about testosterone, you won't be getting any of them today. But I thought I would make it fun by having it being about the ABCs, because we all know the ABCs, don't we? I know you know your ABCs.
I don't know ABCs.
So I think that we should just start, because we are men.
We're just innocent men.
We are here because we are looking for manly advice and manly life experience. Does anyone know what the start of the alphabet is? Anyone? Any volunteers? You there. What is the first letter?
Oh god. A.
Yes, correct. A. And what is A for? Ass hair. A lot of it. That will happen when you start testosterone, whether you like it or not. If you want to start testosterone and be a twink, that's fine, you can be a twink. But you will have a hairy ass, so there's that to look out for. A is also for acne. You ever had spots? Ever had pimples? Ever in your life? Well, you will experience more of that when you start testosterone, because you will get real sweaty, real gross. If you're prone to acne, it will be worse, I promise you. Boy puberty is a completely different thing. I woke up the next day, I already smoke. I already smelled. I woke up the day after starting testosterone already smelling. My piss smelled different, but we'll get further onto that. I never had acne when I was going through girl puberty. When I started boy puberty, and this may just be because I was binding, but I had so many spots on my chest, on my shoulders, on my back, but that kind of passed after like the first 6 months, the first year, and now this is just my face now, and I don't are there any spots?
No.
Well, there we have it, folks. What is A also for? Anger. A lot of people experience that, like, when they start testosterone, their hormones go a little crazy, because you know when you first start testosterone, your hormones will be a little bit crazy. I wouldn't say that I feel more angry. I feel like I'm quicker to get to anger now than I used to be, but I don't think I'm angry all the time, or most of the time. I'm not a particularly angry person, so hopefully if you're not a particularly angry person, testosterone will be fine for you. And the last A for testosterone, what is it? Appetite. Because you'll be a hungry little You will never feel full, ever. That's a promise. That's a promise. A sales pitch.
Buy now and you get appetite with it.
Yay! I was never a particularly hungry person. I never really ate that much. And I found that nothing would fill me up. So that's something to deal with. Next up we have B. And what is B for? Balls dropping. You won't grow balls, I'm sorry. B is for bald. Bald. You may go bald. This is like fear-mongering. People are going to watch this for the first time looking for genuine advice.
Look at bald. Hi, bald.
Hair loss is a part of, you know, puberty for a lot of guys. Your DHT levels rise, which means hair loss may occur. I've had it pretty lucky. Yeah, but for real though, you can go bald. You can go bald. You probably...
You know who also can go bald? Literally anyone.
Literally anyone can go bald. So don't let baldness stop you from starting testosterone if that's something that you want. And also, the final B for the ABCs of testosterone, the final B is bottom growth. Which I know a lot of you will be watching this being like, oh, he's gonna say it, he's gonna say it. Clitoris. It gets bigger, a lot bigger, noticeably bigger. It like schlongs around a bit. I don't want to overpromise because you may not have a big old dink, but your bottom will grow. Every trans guy I know is a hung twink. But no, for real, bottom growth, that was another one that I felt literally the day after I started. When I had my consultation, they were like, yes, so you may feel like kind of like electricity in your clitoris. Maybe like a buzzing, not like a buzzing. They were like, yeah, you'll feel something. And the next day I felt something. It didn't noticeably look bigger. And I can't lie, it's still growing now. Some people just like stop growing after a year, 2 years. Depends on your levels, depends on who you are as a person. But you can't start testosterone and not have bottom growth.
People don't want to be hung.
You don't want to be hung? Weird. I've written down C. Massive. The C of testosterone, ABCs. Big, but that's the same as bottom growth. I'm really front-loading the talk. Another thing that I've noticed that's happened to me, at least, curlier hair. Your hair gets thicker. The texture of your hair may change. It may not. You might go bald. You might not. Who knows? Everyone's different, and we accept that, and we love that.
It's D for big.
It's just... I just wrote... I didn't have anything else! I didn't have anything else! What else is there? Your DHT levels rise when you're on testosterone. DHT is a hormone. We're front-loading the in the bald talks. People are not...
Bald.
ball. Not balls, just ball.
Bald.
E is for emotions. And you may think, oh, I'm a boy, I'm a man, I don't feel them, I took testosterone so I don't feel emotions. You will have feelings. You'll have lots of feelings. Your emotions change. If you've met someone that hasn't been through like several different puberties, they won't understand. I just feel like I feel emotions differently. But that makes sense. Hormones, emotions, we get it.
Listen, you went or big.
Yeah.
And then you went and you didn't go erections.
Erections! Oh! That for real, bottom growth, you will have an erection. If you don't have one right now, you will experience one at some point, I promise you.
If you don't have an erection watching this video,
I mean, why else would you be watching? When I was younger and like really struggling with like coming to terms with being trans, you know, I was considering getting bottom surgery when I was younger because I was like, I just need a package. I just need a member. And the saddest thing was that like when you get any type of bottom surgery, if it's like phalloplasty, you can't manually get an erection. No, you have to manually get an erection is what I meant. I was really sad. I was like, I'm never gonna know what it's like to have a boner. I do now. You can see it, you can feel it, it's definitely different. So you have an erection to look forward to.
Does this camera always look kind of like frosty?
Probably.
Like it looks like there's fog inside here.
Next up, after E comes F, and F is for facial hair. You may be looking at me and thinking, you didn't get that one. You've not seen a close-up of underneath my chin. Is all that? No, because I shaved. I shaved, which is why I can't see anything. You will have varying rates of facial hair, and the way that you can determine whether or not you will immediately get facial hair is by looking at your family. My best friend, Phoenix, he started growing facial hair within a month of starting testosterone. I'm 6 years down the line, and all I can get is just like really gross neck and chin stuff. But you may be lucky and you may get facial hair. And also F is for face, because your face will change a lot. It will broaden. It will look more like what you think a man looks like, if that means anything, because on this channel we don't think that's real. That's not true. And when your face changes, that's not just like your jaw, it's not just the width. It also means that like your eyebrows might get thicker, they might get bigger, you'll look grislier. Next up we have G. And G I wrote down is for genitals, but we already spoke about that. So G is for growth. Sorry, G is for growth. Once your growth plates fuse and puberty has ended, you're not gonna grow any taller. But luckily I started testosterone when I was 18, and I grew a centimeter in height, which that was a big deal to me because now I'm finally as tall or taller than my dad. We still haven't agreed upon that, but I think I'm taller than him and he thinks we're the same height.
You're like, I thought you were way taller than your dad.
You had it here. But yeah, growth. If you start testosterone early enough, you might grow a little bit taller, which I know that we all want. Unless you're like Jamie Raines and you're 6'1". Piece of shit. F you, Jamie. Next up we have H. And H is for hair. I have never been a particularly hairy person. I had quite hairy legs, but they darkened a lot. They got thicker. And it's crazy because when I started growing leg hair properly, it like started from the bottom of my leg, like my shin got real dark and really hairy, and then it's like moved up over the years, and finally I have hairy thighs. I started growing chest hair. I have these little black... Oh, don't look at my spots.
There, yes.
I have tiny little minuscule chest hairs, and you will too. Toe hair is real. Toe hair is true, and toe hair exists, and you'll experience it. Maybe you won't, but my feet are so hairy now. Next up we have I, as in I don't want to stand up anymore because I have pathetic little legs that are painful now. I've written down is for increased sex drive, which, look, regardless of like where you are in terms of like asexual to hypersexual, your body, just the hormones in it. I have never experienced so much horniness. I've never experienced so much horniness in my entire life as I did when I started testosterone. So much to the point that like I got obsessed with this one actor because I thought he was hot, and then I made him my entire personality just because I was... Did I say hat?
Yes.
What did I say?
You said because I thought it was hot.
What? I thought it was hot.
She's hot.
I felt kind of crazy with the amount that I wanted to have. I felt like it was like a new mental illness that I had acquired. Like I thought there was something wrong with me. Next up we have J. I wrote joy. I felt it for the first time. I felt so much happier. I felt so much less uncomfortable. My dysphoria levels dropped an insane amount to the point where I'm just like, I don't give a shit anymore. I don't have tits. Who could complain? But yeah, joy. Trans joy. I clearly couldn't find anything for K, because what I wrote was kind.
You truly gave up at that point.
Being kind to yourself, because you're a king.
Please go down this route of inspirational Noah. Please.
You may feel like you're more able to be kind to yourself, more accepting of yourself, and that's a good thing. After K, we have H-I-J-K-L. We have L, and I know that I've written down libido. You're gonna be horny. You're gonna be wanting it. You're gonna be having It's okay. I feel like that's part of the whole journey. L is also for love, and you'll learn to love yourself. L is for leg hair, L is for lip hair, L is for lotion, because you're going to need a lot of that. Next up in the alphabet is M, which we have for muscles. You won't grow muscles if you don't work out, but you will look more muscular in general because your body has got different hormones in it, and testosterone makes you more muscular. I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm so sorry about it. I've seen so many testosterone transitions where people are just like, ooh, 1 year on T I was so scrawny, in 3 years I was jacked and huge and massive and like a boulder and bigger than your dad and bigger than your grandpa. That's not gonna happen unless you work out. But what I did notice is when I started testosterone, I just looked more muscular. It's easier to build muscle when you have more testosterone. Who would have thought? Bodybuilders who break the law. And Olympians. Lots of them. Next we have N. And what is N for, you say? Neck thicker. I never considered having a thick neck, and now my t-shirts that I used to wear that fit me normally, real tight around the neck. And having a small head, that's a bit of an issue for me, because I just feel like it's a bit...
There is something severely wrong with this camera. What is going on?
Can I see?
Hello?
Next up we have O, and O is for oiliness. Okay, you're gonna be slick, you're gonna be slidey, you're gonna be almost waterproof with the amount of oil that you possess and that you develop and that you produce. Produce is the word I was looking for. I have never been a particularly oily person. Maybe when I was 13 and very depressed and I didn't wash. Whereas this one, like, I started testosterone, I would wake up the next morning, I'd be sweaty as by the way, I'd be hot as which I guess that I should put H is for heat, because you'll be hot as you'll be boiling, you'll be radiating heat, and you might get hot flashes because your hormones are all over the place. But oiliness, I'd wake up slick and I'd feel horrible. As someone with sensory issues, I'd wake up and be disgusted at myself. Like you have to like get nail varnish remover to like unoil yourself. But that didn't last that long, and I don't think I'm oily now. What is P for then?
Penis!
No.
Periods! P is for periods. Now, I am an anomaly. Most people that I know that start testosterone, regardless of like the dose that they're on, their periods have stopped after a couple months. Some people I know have started testosterone and never had a period again. I had a period until 2 years ago. I tried different types of testosterone, still didn't work. I went on hormone blockers and then I stopped them, and now I started Nebido, which is like injected every 3 months. Most of the time, either your period will go full stop, which I don't know how lucky you'd have to be for that to happen, or your periods will get they like lessen. Some people do end up getting hysterectomy because that situation, not too good, not too healthy. It used to be a thing where like you would speak to the people at the gender clinics and they'd be like, after 5 years you have to get a hysterectomy. What's it called? I get ultrasounds like every couple years or every year to make sure everything's going down right. I have a good reproductive system. It works. It functions. But that's not the case for everybody. The main point is, I don't think any of us want periods. So, I don't want you to get your hopes up, but they may leave. I wrote down Q is for queer. Testosterone won't make you queer, but a lot of the time when you start testosterone, you feel more comfortable in your body if you have crazy bad dysphoria like I did. I felt way more comfortable in my body, so much that I could like explore being attracted to girls, which when I started testosterone, I was convinced I was just into guys. When I got my tits chopped off, I realized it was because I was scared of boobs. Whereas now, I'm like, oh, wait, no, I'm definitely not just into dudes. So I'm not saying that testosterone is going to make you gay, it's not going to make you queer, it's not going to change your sexuality, but it may make you feel more confident and comfortable in yourself enough to like explore that more, if that makes sense. And R is for redistribution, as in as in body fat redistribution. Pretty much, having a dominant hormone in your body means that your body fat will be held in a specific way. Females with like estrogen coursing through their veins usually hold fat more in their hips, in their bum, in their boobs, obviously. When you start testosterone after having that body fat distribution, and this is kind of a change that happens after a few years, it's not like an immediate, whoa. Males tend to hold more fat in their abdomen rather than their butt and their ass, which are different things. You will begin to notice after a few years that you're just more content with the shape of your body. My hips used to piss me off so much, and I know that it's like bone, you can't change bone, and I was like, I'm gonna be doomed forever. But the body fat did a real good service, because I'm like, more like a brick, more like a straight line here. Next we have C. Wait.
What? S?
Next up we have S, which is for skin, and what happens when we start testosterone is that our skin gets thicker. It gets oilier, but it gets thicker. And I was like, yeah, whatever. Like, sure. That's not crazy. That's not something I'm gonna realize is happening. I had a friend that used to just like love stroking my arms because they used to be so soft. They're just thicker now. They're not as soft.
That makes me feel sick.
What, your skin changing?
Yeah.
I also wrote S is for stroke. There's this whole thing that like transphobes will peddle online. If you ever see anybody saying this, just shut them up by saying this. When you start testosterone, the likelihood of you having a stroke or a heart attack increases. But that's not as scary as it sounds, because what happens is that it will just increase to the level that it would be at if you were naturally born a guy, because it's just the hormone that means that you're likelier to have a stroke. S is also for stink, which we spoke about. It's not only just like your body odor that changes. The day after I started testosterone, as I said, the smell of my piss changed. It was so much stronger, and it makes way more sense to me why the men's bathroom smells so bad. I know that they're also like standing up, pissing on the floor, pissing on the walls, which makes sense. But the smell of the piss is just way stronger. And literally just since starting libido and having actual decent testosterone levels, I now get beads of sweat. I didn't used to get beads of sweat, and if I did, I could feel them building up. Whereas now, I do the littlest thing, and I can feel the bead of sweat like running down my face. T is for toe hair. You will be a hairy toe.
You will be a hairy toe.
You will become hairy toe. Next up we have U, and U is for some reason I was like, urethra. UTIs, I guess. Apparently it's a thing where like you start testosterone, like the balance down there is different. You may be more likely to have UTIs, which I don't think I've experienced. Apparently that's a thing, and I didn't know what else to put for U. Next we have V, and V is obviously for voice. Your voice will drop, regardless of if you want it to or not. And no, you don't get to choose the pitch of your voice, and sometimes you'll think, oh, I wish it dropped a bit more, but it won't. That's one of the earliest changes, I guess, within the first few months. And if you've seen other people testosterone timelines, don't try and compare yourself to them, because I know people that didn't have their voices drop for quite a long time, and then they dropped to the lowest that I've ever heard. You know, that's also down to genetics, but your voice will drop. And V is also for vascularity, as in vania. That's one of my favorite changes. It's a little one that I was like, oh, I'm excited for that. No, what is this? This wasn't there before. Well, I'm sure it was. I'm sure I had a vein there.
You grew a new vein.
Yeah, I grew a new vein. Next we have W for weight. You will probably gain weight. You might do it. Don't be scared of it. It's just something that happens. Your appetite is crazy. You're really hungry. You'll probably gain weight. Next up we have X, and I don't have anything for X. I don't know what X...
Extra slay.
Extra slay. X is for extra slay, and X is for your exes will hate you because you're so hot now. Why I've written yes for what? I look like a baby because I still look young. That's not really to do with the testosterone. That's just because I couldn't think of any whys. And finally, the Z of the testosterone ABCs is Zayon. I feel better about myself now.
That's really powerful.
Zayon. I hated that. I really hated that, and I wrote it down, and I knew I'd have to say it. But yeah, if there's any questions you have about testosterone, drop them in the comments. If there's any changes that you've probably seen me talk about, or that you haven't seen me talk about, that you want to talk about, comment them below. If you're going to start testosterone, good luck. Have fun with it. Have a good day or don't. See you later, losers. Goodbye. And I called this the double punch, and it hurts doubly amount. Ouch.
I remember in the moment asking myself, am I okay?